Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tiger Jerishow, episode 6. I am your host, the cult of personality, the best in the world at what I do, Tiger Jericho. Shut the fuck up. And as always, my co-host along my side, Leo Chase, with a bag over his head. Here,
He never looked better.
he, he, I'm not sure what this is or what is going on with Leo right now, but okay. Anyways, my other co-host, the council member of the season, Stephen A. Dench. Dench, say hello.
H.
Jeff
Hey.
Matt Still.
Okay.
9/11 was an inside, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, my new co-host for today, homosexual of the season and the past runner-up for the past 5 seasons, Ham Soup.
Hey, it's great to be here on TGV. The season,
Boo.
I meant to say HGTV's Home Improvement,
Okay.
but I got retarded syndrome.
All right. Anyway, and then my other host, the reigning, defending champion of RFL, one-time ring winner, Sputter Juan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Going for 2.
So loud, my camera died. Fuck.
Well, you're fucking retarded. Okay. Anyways, that's a good segue in. We're gonna talk about the United Bowl real quickly. From what I could tell, it was a complete blowout. Congratulations to TGV for beating the Batty X by like 22. I wasn't there for that. I don't know how it went. I'm pretty sure the Batty X played terrible, from what I could tell. I don't know how they played. Spode, you were there. How did it feel winning your first ring?
It felt good. It kind of was uneventful after like 5 minutes. I was kind of focused on who I was signing for next season after that. It really was not that close of a game, which was kind of anticlimactic because the Bad X have been good all season. When I seen that Bad X was QBing, I kind of had a feeling that's how the game was gonna go. I kind of felt that Diesel should have QB'd at that particular game, despite the fact that Bad X has been good all season. But it's actually been an inactive shit season, so you really can't account from that. But he'll get better after that. Overall, TGV played a dominant game. It really ended how it could have with the circumstances and stuff. Roll ref game. I mean, a referee actually won the UB MVP, which I guess it's a LeBron meme with Joel Crawford. It's kind of unheard of.
Thanks, mate.
Congratulations, Dench, on that award. Really well deserved. You really ref that game well, from what I could tell.
Thanks, mate.
I mean, didn't Dench get banned from reffing this season?
Yes, mate.
And you somehow became the United Bowl MVP from reffing.
Yes, mate.
Congratulations, mate. Everybody give a big round of applause to the TGB Laverts for their first championship in anything ever in about 5 years.
Yeah, they won the NRC championship as well.
Did they really?
Yeah. So maybe we should get with it.
TGV?
Yeah.
When was this?
Like the season before this one.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's how irrelevant it was.
Oh yeah, thanks, Burn.
Yeah, Ham, you got anything to say about the, you are now one of the elitist groups without a ring, along with you, Luke, Joey, Olaf. What do you guys say about yourself?
I really got to say, I'm really proud to be in an elite group like this, amongst some of the greatest players who have played the game. Hopefully, I don't want to. Hopefully, we don't want to win the. Yeah. Hopefully, we don't win a ring this season. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I stay in this.
Alright, cool. Leo, are you still there?
I am alive.
Where's your cam?
My cam died and it won't come back on, so.
Gotta use that pick.
I mean, you weren't missing much. Just had that fucking bag on my head.
Alright, anyway, we'll pass on. Congratulations to TGB. And we'll dive right into the teams this season. A lot of transactions have been going on, even though there has been some controversy about the cap space that should have been, could have been, would have been. Um, yeah, apparently it's Spode's fault, quote unquote. But to be fair,
It's not really Spode's fault.
it's not Spode's fault at all. They just forgot to add tilt. I think
It's
maybe.
somehow Tilt got left out when we were calculating the grades, and I have no fucking clue how, and I don't think anyone has any fucking clue how, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah. So maybe next time be a little bit more thorough about
Whoa.
putting player grades to certain people. But whatever.
The feel when
Um,
that shitstorm happened, when an inactive B grade was left out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the season 21, mean tentacles had to reach into season 22 some way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it did.
The cancer must spread.
Speaking of cancer, we're going to jump right into our first team that we're going to talk about, which is the Lieta Lions.
Did I
Yeah.
good answer that?
Yeah, it's Coach Barone, obviously, with Cookie, Liam, Boone, and Sierra. First things first, Barone's going to get bent over and treated like a little bitch this
Every
entire
time.
season.
Always.
Every time. This team looks absolutely trolly.
Oh
Liam,
god, he has Boone and Cookie. Oh my god, I didn't even realize it was a thing.
Yeah, he offered Cookie 10 or not 10 mil, but 1 mil. I just don't see this team being any good at all. I just see him being really inactive. Either that, or if they are active, they're going to be really trolly. I don't know if
Oh,
Cookie
God.
or Boone's gonna. I don't know who's going to provide membership for Cookie or Boone, but maybe Barone might toss that. But I see this team just being a real complete bunch of trolls. I don't know if Liam will even show up or what Liam got himself into. But I see this team going at least maybe 3-9 or 4 and maybe 8, since it's going to be a 12 game season this season. I'm assuming Barone's going to quarterback. He's going to be the best player for 9 straight seasons. So I'm going to toss this over to the new guy, Will Mahler. Or Mayer? I don't know how to pronounce your last name. What do you think of this Leota team?
Like
Since
I
all
was
about
saying on
memes.
Skype an hour ago, I'm gonna be really disappointed if there's someone doesn't commit suicide this season out of both Barone and Liam.
Oh no, dude. For sure.
For sure, someone's gonna die. Real
That's what I was
life.
gonna say. I was gonna
Real
say,
life, definitely someone's gonna die because of Boone and Cookie's trolls. So it's gonna be really interesting to watch their games. I'm gonna be showing up to every one of them, rooting on for the memes. Really excited to look what this team can really do in terms of getting people to commit suicide.
What's your projected record for them?
Um, well, they got to play the Wobbles twice, so they'll win one of those probably. So I'm gonna go 2-10.
2-10.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Leo, I know you're close to Barone, your BBs. What do you think?
Shut the fuck up.
He texts you like five texts a day.
He got a foul ball from the ball grill at the Phillies game tonight. So I got 20,000 messages about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ham kind of beat me to it when I was gonna say that my bold prediction was that this is gonna be the team that sends Liam back to the hospital. And well, Boone and Cookie is a hell of a tandem. And I expect Cookie to, first off, think Barone's a huge retard and hold out on him in week 4. And or intentionally do troll interceptions and shit with Boone. But this team's ceiling's probably about 3 wins.
Okay, Dench, what do you think?
Oh, okay, so I just want to, if it's okay, I want to read exactly what Darth Liam said to me on the morning when the free was going to start. Hey, Dench. So I reply, hey, mate. Hey, I got a personal request for you and the council to ban me from RFL. I want to retire, and I know the only way to stay retired is to be banned. So I reply, what about Spode's team next season? And he says, I thought about it, but I woke up this morning wanting to retire. So I say, have you done anything that like to be banned, and he's like, no, it's a personal request. I need you to talk to council. I want to do it so no one can try to bring me back. So I just wanted to read that, and then Spode, you were saying about how the night before he was asking you to sign him to a 3-year contract or something. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's kind of changed his mind again, and he was saying like how it's only Saturday games he's not going to make, but he can make Sunday games. But I don't know how much I believe it. Like he's either going to make every fucking game or probably make like 2 of them. So I wouldn't really like. I'm not going to count him as the team when I analyze it, but I mean, Barone's always going to fucking do well because he can run really well. If Cookie actually tried, then he's like a really good player, but he's not going to try with like Barone and fucking Boone. Boone
That's
is.
right.
Boone
I
is
thought that he would take Tilt, you know?
I thought
as
he
I
would
was
too.
saying, Boone has obviously regressed a lot. But the game last season, I don't know, I can't remember who was playing, but he had like one really good game. Leo, do you know who that was?
Who, Boone?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the fucking Adrian Brody game where fucking Adrian Brody came on and Boone got all 4 tackles in a drive, and so we played Adrian Brody on loop for an entire half into the game with like 13 or 12 tackles or something like that.
Yeah. But I remember he had one really good game, but I don't think he'll replicate that every week like he couldn't last season. And then there is like, to be fair, for someone who plays NRC, like he's okay. He's like Sam Soros, like he's alright, but I don't think he's gonna take it seriously enough to actually be really successful in the RFL. So I'm gonna say like they'll beat the Wobbles, and then they're gonna pick up wins, like random wins, probably against the best teams, because that's how the RFL works. So they're probably gonna win like 5 games, I'd say.
That's how the meta works.
Yep.
They just beat the best team out of nowhere.
The Lettia way of getting to the playoffs when you have a meme team is going to the Caleb Bush route and refusing to reschedule.
Right, exactly.
So,
Bode, what do you think?
I actually think this team will go 6-6. They'll go 4-2 with Liam and 2-4 without Liam. I think that Boone always has at least one good game a season, and then after that he's complete shit and an insubordinate retard, quite frankly. Cookie's a good player. Even when he does fuck around, he's still decent. Barone's a good runner, so he can carry them on offense, but defensively, that team's going to be horrible without Darth Liam.
Yep.
So, Daria, I think that's someone we should keep an eye out for because he'll get a lot of playing time on that team since they'll be inactive. I was actually sniffing around considering signing him, but I couldn't just because I didn't think I would get them adequate playing time. So, we'll have to see what they bring. I'm predicting 6-6 with them.
That's very bold prediction from Splitter on there. The next team we're going to talk about is actually the defending champions, TGB. No big surprise, JJ re-signed Byrne as a coach. He also has signed KB and Chuck, and I believe that's the only 4 people he may have signed.
He has Nos as well.
And Sharnos. Like I think this team. I just don't know. I question Chuck's activity. I question Nose's activity. But if there's one team that's going to make either of them show, it's TGB. This team's definitely playoff material. Of course, there's really good players on there. Good defenders. Burns, the reigning MVP. This team has good chemistry. They're all in just their little own secret bubble. I predict this team going possibly 8-4. I think that's pretty fair to say with the amount of talent they have, both on offense and defense. I know their passing defense probably going to be really well. Their running defense, I'm not sure. I know Chuck's a good pass defender. I'm not sure if he's a really good run defender, and that's kind of the problem they had last season as well. So I'm going to go with 8-4, and I'll actually start this off with Dinch this time. Dinch, what do you think of TGB?
So, I think like I'd have been more scared of TGV if they'd have kept Liam over Nose, and that's like no disrespect, but end of the day, the hardest bit in the RFL is to defend, and Liam's a really good defender, so I'd have been more scared of playing him. But like the chemistry's really good because like it's the fucking TGV Bukaki crew. they're all gonna like get on really well. There won't be any fights and calls. They'll all probably get on really well. Like you said though, the worst thing for TGV last season was the run defense, and like I suppose like he is a really good run defender, and I don't know if Giannis is going to be as good a run defender as he is. Like overall, the pass defense is going to be fine though, because they've signed Chuck, and he can still do it. Like he's regressed, but he's still really good at pass defending, which is why like I wanted to sign him for the Bears when we could, but we didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he wanted to sign a TGB anyways.
yeah, well, it's just fair enough. Like it's full of his friends. Like I don't mind that. Shanos, I don't know though. Like I think he'll be active because I think like he's one of those people that will show to RFL every week, no matter if he says he doesn't want to. I think he's still going to show every week. He is regressed. Well, let's argue. Like people argued, was he ever actually a great tier though, and did he regress? But I think he did regress last season, which isn't entirely his fault because he wasn't filled with like the best. I was playing shit, like and he couldn't do everything on that team. I think I'd probably agree with you on 8-4 though. Like they'll probably get playoffs. They'll probably be third or second seed. I'd say. That's all.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Bode, you can go next. What do you think of your former teammates? And your
I
former
already know what Ham and Leo is going to say, so I'm going to start this out first. I think Sharnos is going to come back and he's going to have a really good season. I actually think this team will go 10-2, and here's why. They'll click together. JJ's a better player than what I thought he was, like in the past. He actually impressed me a lot last season. He was probably our most consistent defender. Gaz will show up when it's Nos and Burn on the team. And Burn is a very good player. He's coming off of an MVP season, so I'm predicting 10-2 first seed with TGV.
That's a pretty bold prediction. I think. Yeah, I just question the activity on that. But Leo, go ahead. What do you think of TGV?
Shout out to Spode for just assuming that he thinks he knows what I'm gonna say, but I think they did a good job of building together a roster where they could still compete for a championship. Chuck, I know, we were trying to convince him to play, and he said he wasn't really sure if he even wanted to play the season. I feel like the competitive atmosphere they have, probably Chuck will get tired of it after a while, and then probably pick back up around playoff time and kind of maybe have an impact. Sharnos, I'm assuming, is just going to be their safety and maybe play wide receiver, which is where he should be because in reality he's a low B grade wide receiver / defender kind of guy, and that's a really good spot for him. JJ, like Spode said, was probably their most consistent defender last season, and it all comes down to defense, and Spode leaving, and fucking Darth Liam randomly not wanting to play for them and then going to Barone definitely has a negative impact. And I think they're not as good as last season, probably, but looking at how the teams are spread out, they're probably still going to be the number 2 or 3. And I'd probably say they're probably going to be the number 2. So I'd say 8-4 is a pretty realistic expectation, but they could go higher than that, or maybe one game lower. But I wouldn't say anything below 7, 6 or something.
Yeah, they'll definitely have a winning record with the teams that are spread out. Ham, what do you think?
Basically, you guys said it. This looks like a pretty good team, and not just on paper. They got a lot of, cohesion together. They're all friends. They're not gonna yell at each other in their game calls. So they're gonna, be pretty chill, work as a team. I know Gaz is a pretty good player when my mate wants to be. But I'm not really sure how Sharnos is gonna perform. I haven't really seen him in a team like this before because he's always been on the Verac Rams, either leading that team or he's got Burn and Gas, but and I don't know how he's gonna do in a situation where he's basically their 5th man when it comes down to it. So. Hopefully he does well for their team's sake. But I don't think it's necessarily so much dependent on how Sharnos does. Like if Gaz shows, that's like a solid team. I'm gonna go with like 9-3 for this team.
Okay, that's good. We all have winning records for that. The next team is maybe the odds-on favorite this season. The Relica Bears. We have owner Spoder Juan. We have big signing Mama Dench. We have me. We have CGH and we have Blob. That's our roster so far. Our inactive roster, we have Pity and Pitbull. I'm genuinely surprised how good we did during free agency and what is on Spode's base. Oh my God, here we go.
I'm struggling.
Go Bears. Come on, Dench, you got this.
Go.
Co-Bears. I love Co-Bears.
Shut the.
Hang on a minute. We need to get the Dicka shades.
All of my circle jerk.
Yes. The
All right.
Bears.
We should really put up a poll on how much more like a pedophile does fucking Spode look with sunglasses on.
100.
I
You
don't
want
know
to know
how.
something? I'm not even looking at my webcam. I'm like looking all the way at this extension cord.
There you go. So now we know what you can use them for in the McDonald's fucking lobby.
He's got those like cool dad glasses.
Yeah. You think he's looking at the menu, but he's looking at the
Hang on a
McDonald's
minute. Watch
place.
this. Watch this. Deal with it, BB.
Oh my
That's-
God.
it's-
Oh.
Molest with it.
Show's over.
Green text using that meme. Green text 2000.
Alright, let's get on with the show. This isn't a roast. This is a fucking educational RFL
Okay, yeah.
RuneScape football show.
Of course, of course.
Jesus fucking.
Anyways, our team looks really solid on defense. We have Spode, who I assume is going to be quarterbacking, but I can see Dench taking up some reps if he wanted to. We can see red zone Dench again, lob it in the end zone. This team, I'm really hoping Blah shows up. I'm hoping we can get him active. I'm hoping that he shows. I love playing with Blah during the scrimmages. This will be my first season with him. I played with pretty much everybody else. I predict our season will either be 9-3 or 10-2. I think we're gonna do really well. I'm gonna send this off to Will Mile this time.
Well, since I'm one of two people who's not on this team in this call, I'm gonna go ahead and say you guys are like jerking yourselves off a little too early. Like, I saw some promising performances from the scrimmage the other day, and you got a lot of good players. You got probably your best player, CJH. Real dominant defensive end. It really comes down to how will Spode carry on offense or Dench, because it's a pretty solid defensive team, but hopefully also solid offensive team. I'm gonna say that probably like them less than TGV, cohesion wise. Just because, you got a lot of, I don't know, Dench and Spode before has not worked out, we've seen, so it'll be interesting to see how they work together this season. I'm going to go with 8-4.
Okay. All right. Dench,
Hello.
what do you think of our team so far?
It's alright.
In every single scrimmage. Do you think we'll be good defensively? I think that's going to be our strong suit is defense.
We didn't do too good yesterday, but it was like fucking 6 a.m.
But again, we had CGH quarterbacking too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't really take much from that. The scrim before, though, like, when we all showed, that was really good. Like, we played really well. I think it does depend on how me and Spode, like, get on, but I think it's different than last time. I think we're surrounded by a lot cooler people than last time. Like, no disrespect to Tilt or Liam, but Tilt, like, he's a hothead like the rest of us, and Liam has nosebleeds when he misses tackles, so, like, it was a pretty, like, it wasn't the greatest atmosphere to try it, but I think this time the team atmosphere is a lot different than it was with, like, we have CJH and Grow, who are pretty laid-back people, so I don't think we'll fight. it was a surprise that I was joining this team anyway. Like I was going to go to the Kings. Like there's no secret. But that didn't happen. And Spode was nice enough to take me back, which was very nice of him. I thought he'd moved on, but
Although,
other than
okay,
that,
okay,
I think we'll be all right. I don't think 8-4. I think 8-4, 9-3. I think that's reasonable for the team we have, but we'll see.
all right, Leo, you can go ahead and talk about this Relica team. This is technically your little baby from season 12. Since I've
Yes.
just noticed I've been on every Relica team.
You are a lifelong Relica
I'm
bear.
even a bear and a falcon. Jesus.
Yes.
And Fremennik. I've played like basically my whole team.
Yeah.
But
Let's be real.
anyways,
You're a hometown.
yeah.
You guys have obviously a really good team. I do think history does have a chance of repeating itself, and with first off, I'm assuming the expectation is to go all the way and win, and that always brings conflicts of interest in the middle of games and shit. And Spode and Dench has had a unsuccessful past, and I don't think most people would be surprised if this ended up with a midseason trade. But regardless of if there's a trade or not, I don't see any way of you guys not making playoffs. At least as a 2 seed. I think everyone would slide you as the 1 right now. I think obviously Tiger Jerishow is going to have to step up and be a bigger man on defense because he's bad. But I think you guys obviously have a lot of depth at defense. And it's interesting to see, like, Spode just fucking completely captaining the ship on a real, like, UB, like, team where people, the expectation is you guys are going to go to the UB, and Spode is the go-to guy. But I don't think that should be an issue unless either Dench doesn't feel like Spode's doing a good job or fucking Big Bro wants his shot. But I think you're pretty much done with that shit after last season and all that. But I mean, I think anything less than the 2 seed for you guys would be a disappointment. But I would not be surprised to the fucking least if there was a mid-season shakeup.
Yeah, I'm just really just wanting to enjoy this season. Since it will be my last season, I'm not gonna say it's probably gonna be my last season. It will be my last season. I wanted to play with Spode, obviously. I kind of felt bad when he left my team, and I sort of, left Relica. So I guess this is the season for redemption, and I just noticed this. Hold up. All right, awesome. But yeah, I do. I know Dench. I know him too well about the trading and stuff. But I think Mama has matured. Mama's gotten his rings, and I think he'll mature. He'll like this team. I think he likes the people that are surrounded by it. He gets to play with me. I won't trade you this time. There's that. So I'm going to go ahead and let the owner talk. Spode, what are your expectations for this team?
Really, I don't have any. I just want to have fun. Like, I haven't even thought about winning the UB. I think that if pretty much how I'm looking at it is if I can play a season with Byrne and surprisingly not argue with him at all, which was expected considering me and him hated each other for 2 years, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to play with Dench, considering we have laid-back people on this team with CJH, Pitbull, Blah, and Tiger. The main goal is just making the playoffs first, and then whatever we do in the playoffs is what we do. Really nothing more you can do from it. I'm thinking 8-4 for us. 8-4, maybe 7-5, maybe even 9-3, around that area.
That's reasonable.
But I see playoffs for us definitely. That's a goal that we'll work on,
Right. Always a good
and
goal.
it'll be fun. That's all I can say since it's gonna be my last season. So I want to go out with the blaze of glory,
Everybody thinks we're not going to retire. That's pretty hilarious because
Hang on, I'm trying to connect the unibrow.
I was actually going to retire.
Yeah, thanks for playing another season, by the way.
You're welcome. Okay, our next team we're going to talk about is the returning Varrock Rams. With, I think Luke's owned before, but I believe.
Yo, Luke's got a
long
historic
time ago.
history of meme ownership from
Edgehill Jets.
The Jets, of course, yes. He always brings that up.
Also on the team.
But I'm glad that the Varrock Rams are returning. I already had my sights set on signing with Spode, so that's why I did not own the Rams. But this Rams roster consists of owner Luke Cavey, coach Darklink 1000, Coach Giggs, who's not actually a player but just the coach. So, I don't know what that's all about. That's freaking Giggs.
Who does that?
It's a Giggs thing.
Yo, don't hate on Coach Giggs, man. He's a fucking revolutionary RFL mind.
Giggs is shit.
He has a
He's
gift.
taking his talents from NRC to the RFL.
But anyways, we also have Diesel Truck, Sobend, and Jim. My expectations for this team. This is going to be an interesting team to watch. I think I really liked playing with Sobin, and I'm glad somebody signed him. I'm glad somebody signed him. He can actually play DE this season, unless him and Dark want to switch out.
Nah,
But I assume Leo's going to play cornerback.
I'm all go with the cornerback.
Yeah. Sobin's kind of comfortable with DE. He tried playing CB last season, but he wasn't really that great. But I can just see a lot of inactivity going on here. I know Leo's a little unpredictable when showing, which I was actually surprised he showed up to the amount of games he did last season, even if it was the meme team.
Yeah.
But I think my expectations for this, I think Leo's going to be the quarterback, obviously. Bo likes Blackhawk. I think Luke's going to have a good season. I think Luke's going to have to show to every game in order for his team to show up. I believe this team, if Diesel shows not drunk, this team could be good defensively. I think this is going to be like an underrated team throughout the season. And I see them going at least maybe 5-7 or 6-6. I think they might edge in the playoffs if they're lucky. I just see there's teams out there that just look weaker than this team. They just have to play really well every single week in order to get into the playoffs. So I'm going to let you, Leo, talk about your team real quick. What do you think your expectations are for Luke Cavey as the owner?
Well, Luke really wanted to own specifically because, he hasn't really fucking, done this in centuries. And, what else at this point in his career besides continuing to flounder to try to get to the United Bowl can he, do that makes it interesting? And I'm glad that he wanted to carry on the Rams. So when he offered me, a 2-season contract, originally, I think everyone knows, I was going to go straight over to the Bears after fucking Detroit Flake for the 800th time. But, we basically, when we talked, we wanted to really try to give some younger people or people who are kind of have some animosity about the league a chance, because this whole season is supposed to be about trying to build up so we don't have a shit fall because we've had a shit summer. So basically, we set the baseline as we want to try to have a rookie play substantial minutes, regardless of if it's Jim or someone else later down the line, and we want to try to be competitive for the 4 seed. We signed Diesel because we knew that Diesel is going to college and probably won't make many games after week 5, which I think is the week that he goes to college. We figured it out.
Yeah.
But we told Diesel basically, if you can make a game, we'll give you a bond and you can play. And Diesel wants to obviously he wants to. It's weird because he wants to play really on par with how Diesel's played in the past as an MVP.
Right.
But he does not want to compromise real life, and I can understand that. So when he plays, he wants to play serious, but he's not gonna miss fucking going out to parties and shit his first semester to play. So we expect to get whatever we can out of Diesel for 5 weeks, and he said if we made the playoffs, then he'd show up for all that shit. So if Diesel shows up for the first 5 games, by the way, he can play quarterback the whole fucking time. I don't give a shit. And if we do have me, Diesel, Soben, and Luke in the field at once for defense, we play man-to-man. Because me and Diesel both really like playing cornerback at man-to-man. And that's what we did in season 14, if you remember, Tiger.
Yeah, I do.
And I think that actually could be interesting. Because on paper, I didn't realize until we had signed that that was actually not a terrible defense. And I'm excited to play with Soben. Because I really think that he could be a really good DE. And he's really chill from just talking to him a little bit. And I hope that I can erase the stigma, which I'm sure Burninator and BB Sharnos have ingrained upon him as to what I am. So,
right.
I'm just excited to like have fun and have a laid back season after the meme season. So
Yeah, I think we all are. Speaking of the meme season and the meme team, Ham Soup. You know Luke really well. You know Leo. You played with them last season. What are your expectations? With Leo
Um,
being the QB probably, or perhaps Diesel.
Diesel at quarterback makes this team infinitely better. I'm sorry, but like I've lost all faith in Leo's quarterbacking ability.
you
Darn.
seem you
Um,
seem that you seem to have a lot to say about my QBing ability for
uh,
the man who single handedly lost to fucking the
you know
intro to
what? Like I've
Firebirds.
never QB'd. You know, it's not like
But
who's
if
gonna quarterback that game?
Hamo, put
Were
yourself in
you
my
gonna quarterback at
shoes.
McDonald's
If you put yourself in
on
my
a trackpad?
shoes, what would you do if you had to throw to Hamu and Luke and Boom?
I
You know,
mean,
it's
that is pretty bad.
everyone knows the top meme of the last season was Leo saying that his receivers suck. So hopefully his receivers are better this season. But otherwise, I'm seeing this team going 5-7 at most because Diesel will probably not show once he goes to college.
Yeah. Alrighty. Stephen A. Dinch, what's your analysis on the Barack Rams, the
Hello,
team
mate.
that you jumped ships from last season?
Um, like, first of all, like, I'd like to say sorry to Luke that he was thrown in this so late because it isn't really fair on him that he's got to build a team like right at the end when everyone else is built. So sorry for that, but like he's done a pretty good job building a team. I really like them getting Soben because he's gonna get a lot of time on that team, and he's like he could be a really good player. And he's a nice guy too, so I like them signing him. Um, sorry to break it to my mate Leo Chase. You know, he wasn't number one for the Bears anyway. I wanted CJH over him because I think like no offense, but like I think he's got a higher ceiling right now. Um, but Leo's a good signing for them as long as he says he can QB. I don't know how true that is though, because like he said the start of last season when he was bad at QB that it was because he hadn't done it for a while and he was just not great through the season. But then again,
I thought I got substantially better towards the end of the season. I think that anyone besides Ham, because Ham didn't show any of the last few games, would agree with them. Because I had to fucking run. My crippled ass had to run, and we almost won all
Honest,
three of the last few games.
honestly, even when I was on the
almost.
team, I don't think it was too bad. We didn't lose by a substantial amount of points every
Yeah,
game.
and if we did, it was because Boone was cucking us on fucking songs and like fourth down on defense.
You do have to realize that Boone did cost us a lot of games. Maybe not a lot, maybe like two. Or
Like
three.
I was fucking awful the first half of the season, but the second half of the season, I thought I played fucking fine.
Like how many games did you win?
We
I believe
won
they won three.
all three of the games we won were when I QB'd, except for Tiger might have won one game and I was gone.
End of the day, if you can't run, you can't really QB. Like, but I know you could say that that's not the case for Burn, but Burn has basic running ability that he can do.
But I don't think you can discredit my running ability, which I think, by the way, I know it's still like not good, but it's gotten substantially better. When I think I posted above 6 rush touchdowns in each of my last 4 games.
You think that you're gonna QB a team to the playoffs? Do you think you can do that?
I've done it before. Ask Tiger. What was the last time I did it in the Rams?
I genuinely agree with that. Like I'm not scared of saying
I'm not saying I expect to make the playoffs because we don't do like whatsoever. But I
Anyway,
expect to be competitive, and if we do make the playoffs, like it'll be because me and Diesel were able to get to the team to the playoffs.
like anyway, moving on from Leo Chase, like Diesel's a good signing, but it's how many he's going to show to. Like he was saying before he signed to a team that he was thinking about retiring because he really isn't going to be that available. Like I don't know if that's changed, but anyway, I think record-wise, it really depends on how much Diesel shows to. I'd probably say 6-6 or 7-5 right now, but they might be less.
7 and
But
5.
Diesel shows to more. I'd probably say 6-6. I'd
I
probably
just don't. Yeah, I just don't see them having a positive record. Just 6-6, like a break-even record. I just don't see them going positive. That's you got to tell me that 7 games they'll win over 5 they'll lose. I just don't see it happening. But
yeah,
I'll go
I
ahead then.
think 6 is fair though. I think, but it depends on how much Diesel shows to. Because if he shows to all the fucking games, then they could go a lot higher than that. But if he shows to none of the games, then they might go a lot lower than that. So I'm gonna say right in the middle for now until we know what he's gonna do.
Alright.
Okay. Spode, what's your
Big
analysis?
fucking Spodes coming in. I think this team will go 4-8. That's a typical Rams record. And it's not a bash on Luke because Luke had to build his team under circumstances where most teams are already pre-planned and all that stuff. And thank you, Luke, by the way, for taking a team over so we were not completely fucked over the situation.
By Daddy Toddler Trail.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. Anyway, moving past Leo's illegal as fuck contract, which was 1 year's of membership that is not in bonds. Yeah, I caught that, by the way. I think this will be a good team. There's a lot of young players that'll get better and they'll get playing time to develop, like Jim, for instance. They actually just re-signed Bestis, so we'll see what the track captain.
He went out of his way and wrote some heartfelt fucking like thing to Luke, asking to be on the team like 20 minutes ago.
We'll see what the track captain will do. I don't know if he'll even show up to a game, but he sent me a message on Skype that said, "GG, we have Diesel." And I'm sitting here thinking that this isn't 2 years ago where Diesel showed up to every game.
He's kind of out of touch, if you haven't noticed.
I don't think Leo is really that bad of a QB moving on, but he does stupid shit towards the end of the game. There was a game against the Vikings that I remember from last season where he ran right into Caleb like 2 straight times on the red zone, and that lost them the game. I don't think that they'll be a bad team. I'm pretty sure they'll actually be better than 4-8, but I'm saying that for now because that's my expectation for them.
I think that's 100% a realistic analysis.
They're a boomer bust team, pretty much.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I'm glad that you did have the point that the main focus of this is really to try to get people who aren't really all that invested in RFL to have more interest in it.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a team that the league needs. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's usually one of those teams every season that tries to do that. All right, we'll go ahead. Well, did you predict the record? You said 4-12, or not 4-12? Sorry, 4-8.
4-8.
4-8. Okay, that's a fair record. All right, it's time to move on to the runner-up of last season, the surprising team, the underdogs, the Butthroat Badiacs, returning for another season with head coach Badiak, Detro, Paco, Ginger Nub, and Finway. I believe the cap is mostly filled. I believe they can sign another D player. On paper, the activity of this team, it's going to be a lot of 3v3s, I assume. I'm thinking Paco. I just don't. The it factor on this team is going to obviously be Detro, but he's no longer, I believe, playing quarterback. I believe they're going to allow Badiak to play as QB. Now Badiak's kind of stubborn with that. He wants the stats.
Fucking Bardiark.
Yeah, Bardiak, System Bobby. But so Detro is going to line up in the wide receiver position this season, which is an interesting decision. Paco, you obviously got sort of a wild factor with him. You honestly don't know how he's going to react to playing with Detro. I assume he's going to just... I could see a trade for Paco this season, just not dealing with Detro. I know sometimes they've gotten along, sometimes they've kind of butt heads. But I see this team I want to believe that Ginger will at least come and play the game. I want to believe that maybe, I forgot what the other player was. Finway?
They have Pure Bacon and Fenway.
And Pure Bacon, yeah.
But I feel like Pure Bacon's going to get fucked because I don't think he's going to show too many games because he's on a team that doesn't need him at all. So.
Yeah, and I see Pure Bacon come to scrimmages sometimes but never show up to games. It just really puzzles me why. But I just think I would like Finway to come. I told Finway to come to the games last season and he never did.
I'm sure you'd like Finway to come, wouldn't you, boy?
You're gay. But I want him to show up and want him to at least get interested in the RFL again. For my prediction for this team, if Badiak is QBing, defensively this team isn't bad. I just see a lot of spaghetti happening. I'm just gonna go with the record of 5-7. I see
Wow.
the yeah, I see. I just don't see it working out and clicking. I just don't see all of them clicking as a team. Uh, Last season was sort of lucky for the Badiacs. Not saying they were a terrible team, but if you just look on paper at what they had, they weren't supposed to be as good as they were. I do believe this team has their good share of players. Ditro obviously is probably the best player on their team. Well, not probably, he is the best player on their team. Paco, it's no, he. Paco, like I said, is the wild factor. Like he can be really good on defense, but he can spaghetti on offense. And then there's Badiak. So my prediction is 5-7. I'll go to Spode. Spode, what do you think of the Badiak?
I actually think they're a good team. I think that I believe Detro's going to end up being the quarterback. Badiak being the QB will last all of one half if they get down early. I think that they'll work together, right? And I'm glad that Detro and Paco actually were a package deal because it kept Paco in the league. Because I think he took that playoff loss hard, but record-wise, I'm gonna go out and say like 9-3 maybe.
9-3.
9-3. That sounds good. All depends really on Badiak and his defense. Because I call him Brain Dediac for a reason, and that's because he
Oh,
literally
wow.
just stands there
Yo.
when he like expects the wide receiver to run right into him.
Well, my mate Hamu and Luke really instilled that idea in his head week 2 of all season. But
Yeah.
somewhere there's a salty Badiac chugging a 2-liter right now and glaring at his screen.
I'm not. I just don't see him reproducing the season he did last season.
I
Just, man.
The thing is, he's gonna grow, but I just don't know how to take this team because Badiak and Detro couldn't even play together in a scrim. Like, how are we supposed to take him serious and on an actual team? But we'll have to wait and see. I seriously think Detro will be QBing like after the first game, especially if they lose.
I could see if Detroit is QB, their record's going to be a lot better. I could see them going 8-4. Detroit is the QB. Leo, what do you think of the Barty Arcs?
I think y'all are shitting on a perfectly good team because they had a bunch of fucking meme wins last season, but like I think on paper this team got a lot better, and I know that Paco is a spaghetti defender sometimes and kind of caves under pressure, but he's in a situation where in reality he can be the third man, and I think that's kind of where he thrives. Detroit not playing QB, obviously they're not going to be as good in offense, but Detroit, I think, is going to play that role where when Badiak needs someone to really run the ball, he can let Detroit run. And Detroit's like abnormally good at like getting in a QB for one play and running entirety of the field and getting a touchdown. So I don't know why that's such an issue. But obviously, I've seen Paco and fucking Detroit have issues before, and I mean there could be. This is one of the younger teams in the league, like age-wise, and that's the only way I could see this team like having issues, not making the playoffs, which they won't do. They're gonna make the playoffs. Is like having fights and one of them getting traded, and that's it.
Okay.
Another prediction I have, by the way, is I think Detro will be the one who gets traded mid-season.
I wouldn't be
Instead of
surprised
bench.
about that either. But one of the two will get traded mid-season.
I do predict a trade happening. I just think this team is just going to have too many 3v3s. I just think they're going to have to trade for. Badiak's going to have to trade for more players, and you can get more players with Detro. Ham, there, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, the real big question is who's gonna QB. Is it gonna be Badiak? Is he gonna like say, "Oh yeah, mate, I'm gonna quarterback swig his 2-liter Mountain Dew and like just pass all the time"? If he does that, I'm seeing 5-7. I don't know, but if Ditro can just take over a team, even if it's like he can just carry a team.
I
And
do.
we saw that 2 seasons ago on the Lumbridge Lions, where like I don't know, he would just like I don't know, he could just carry in a 2v3, almost win that game. I saw that he's just that good, and Badiak's a retard if he doesn't start Ditro from game one. That's basically my 2 cents. So like 5-7 if Badiak's an idiot, 8-4 if he's not.
And I do have to give Detro credit. He actually plays very well, regardless of what team he's on. I remember him winning MVP not that long ago. Well, not that long ago, probably 5-6 seasons ago, and on the Remington Redskins. Like, who can say that? Like, who can say that they won the MVP on a team that didn't? I don't believe even made playoffs. Anyways, yeah, that's the team for the Badiacs. The next team, oh, blow.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh, I'm sorry, Dinch. Did you say anything? I'm
No.
sorry, Dinch. Dinch. Speak up, mate. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so on a side note, this is the crew that traded me away season, was it 15? The Union? So the crew's back together. Like, Badiak's going to QB, like, that's what they've all said. Detroit's going to be like Diesel from last season, where he basically runs the ball for Badiak, because Badiak hates running, and he literally signed Diesel to just run, so he's probably done that with Detroit, but they're going to be a good team. I think you underrate them. Like, it depends how Paco, like, he did well last season, and can he back it up again on defense, especially? Pure Bacon's actually pretty good. Like, I remember him playing against the Lions last season, and he was like, he like blew fucking Barone out at some plays. This was before Barone DC'd. He played really well though. I think I wouldn't want to predict a record though, because they could either do like really really fucking well, or they could do like really average. So I want to say like I'd say anywhere between. I think the minimum they'll go is 7-5 though, and I think they'll probably go a lot higher. I think like we've basically done every good team to be about 8-4 and 9-3, but I think the exact same for these. I mean, Badiak, like he did do well last season at QB. Like you can't deny it. I know it was a shit season, but he did do really well. I think they'll be definitely playoffs. They'll probably be, I'd say, second seed is my prediction. And I think it'll be a three-way like toss-up for first seed with the Bears, TGV, and the Badiaks at the end of the season.
I do like how this season is kind of spread out.
Yeah, it's really.
I like it. It's going to be one
Yeah.
of the most competitive seasons after coming off one of the worst seasons. Hopefully, everybody's going to remain active. I know school's about to start, but
Hang on a minute, guys.
yes.
I have a quote from Coach Barone. A top-tier DE is more valuable than Detroit playing outside CB.
No.
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 Sorry. As much as I want to be biased towards defensive ends, no.
Yeah, and
The key to winning games is fucking elite like cornerbacks on defense.
even if you got a good DE, doesn't necessarily mean he's a good like offensive player either.
Yeah.
And that's Detroit as
Right.
well. Like you can say defensive wise, even Detroit can play DE. I've seen Detroit play.
No, I
DE
mean
well.
Detroit can play everything.
He can play everything, right?
If you don't have me playing quarterback, unless I'm like your like third wide receiver, like I am fucking worthless if you're putting me as just your defensive end, because I don't bring anything to offensive wide receivers. So I don't
Right.
see how a great DE is any better than a dominant cornerback at all.
Unless it's intimidation, but I
Yeah.
don't think anyone really gets intimidated about RFL, or hopefully not. Hopefully I'll outgrow that. All right, for our next team, like I said, sorry for interrupting. Council member of the season, Mama Dench. It is the Nirvana.
Cancer.
The coach, the cancer, with owner Chabray. Young. A-Raj. You got Hamu. I'm trying to remember who else is on your team. Till is on your team. Is that all of you signed so far? I don't have a roster for you guys.
We're in negotiations.
In negotiations with, I'm assuming, Giggs.
Yes.
what is Sean? Giggs from the Nardo.
I have reports that Giggs is highly offended by the negligent and callous nature of Wilhelm Heinrich trying to give him a contract offer when he is currently under contract to a trying to devote himself to his passion in Barack Rams of becoming a legendary head coach.
Gaze is fucking too much, man.
Yeah, well, okay, I guess I'll start on this. Boy, this is almost the exact replica of the Narda team that made it to the United Bowl just almost, 4 seasons ago?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, well, actually, this time around, A-Rod is going to be the quarterback, which is going to be interesting because he did quarterback for TGB a couple seasons ago, but didn't do particularly well. I think I see Chavray just coming in and going ahead and quarterbacking, sort of like he always does. He has to take control of the situation. If they do sign Giggs, I mean, that's a positive for them. If he does play, I'm assuming he's going to want a big contract because it's fucking Giggs. Hamu, this has got to be your breakout season, man. You're coming home to Nada. You need to have a good season. I think he's gonna do better than last season. I hope Ham shows up to games. Just don't know his situation right now. But as for this team against the entire league, I just don't see them being that well. I can see Chavray kind of losing his cool, kind of what he does, what he's best at. But at the same time, he's also not given a shit recently. But you can see either side of that Chavray. I'm gonna go with this is gonna be a tough one. A 3-9 season or a 4-8. I just don't see them doing that particularly well in the season. I can see A-Raj perhaps getting mad at Chavray if a game goes really south. A-Raj being active is also a question. It's always been a question to me whether he's going to show up to games or not. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this off with Stephen A. Dinch since I so rudely interrupted him last time. I'm going to let him have the floor.
Hello. Okay. Wait a minute, what is this? Yeah, oh, no, okay, so I think unless Tilt shows, like, they're going to really struggle to make the playoffs, I'd say. Like, Tilt's a really fucking big player for these guys, but he's only going to show to, like, a few games. Like, I don't know how many it is. If it's as much as last season, like, these guys are in trouble because, like, A-Rod is actually an underrated QB. Like, he can actually run to some extent. Like, he genuinely isn't that fucking bad. We'll probably get mad at some point, though, and probably take over. I don't know when. When's the big question? Is Shav an A grade? Like, that's debatable. I think he probably is for one more season. If he has another bad season, then definitely not. Ham is the... Ham actually could... I think he could be okay with enough time. I think, like, last season obviously was a fucking meme. I don't think you can judge players that much off last season because of how fucking autistic it was. I think these guys will probably go like 5-7, and I think they'll win games when Tilt shows, and I think they'll really struggle without him.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I see Ham as this being the perfect opportunity for you to actually extend your playing time and actually prove to yourself. This is the perfect team. I think Chavez going to give you plenty of opportunities. Are you looking forward to this season joining back with Nada?
That's really bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I can show to games. Like, I don't know how my situation's gonna be once I go back to college, because I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like, I might have to play RFL in the middle of my apartment's living room if I don't get a single room, and I don't really want to do that. So this team's really dependent on whether I get a single room. Also, whether or not Till shows up to the games, definitely that.
Dealing with all these autistic 12-year-olds.
But no, seriously. Hopefully, I can improve this season. I've been told I'm the worst player in the league, and this is definitely going to be my redemption season. I'm gonna try hard, you know, and hopefully the rest of my team plays well. You know, and Shav's a pretty good quarterback, you know.
He wasn't that
But
good.
no, mate. Like it or hate it, he can actually quarterback. He can like carry shit teams to wins,
Well,
and yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't know how we'll do. 4-8.
4-8. After all that positivity about your quarterback, when
I just don't
you
know
go
like
for it.
how our activity is gonna be. You know,
I
like
do. I agree with that.
we got the king of inactivity, A-Rod. We got Tilt, who pretty much can't show any games, and yeah, I don't know.
I have to tend to agree with that. Okay. Spode, what is your prediction for the Northern Nirvana? You know, this is our
Wow.
home, man.
Well, man, here, let me get up for this. Ham actually said it best. Like, his apartment is a key factor into how this team will play out. Like, will he get a 10 by 9 living room, or will he get an 8 by 8? Like, you never know.
No, mate.
This is actually, I don't know why Shaft signed Help, first of all. He should have signed Diesel and actually reunited that entire Season 17 team. But with
Yeah.
Ray being so clueless as to what's actually going on within the league, he probably thought Tilt was active at the time. And he kind of put himself in a situation where he has a 150K wasted cap. Unless the team needs a reschedule, then if I was Shav, I would reschedule it to a time and a day where Tilt could actually make it. Anyway, with all that being said, 5-7 with this team. And
Also,
they'll be battling the Rams for the 4th seed.
I also like to point out that Shav may not make games either, even though he's the owner. He said
That's bad. That's really bad.
it is really bad for Norda.
Not
But,
like it. So it's really nobody's fault but my own.
well, yeah, it is your fault, Shav, because you won't show up to games. But, you know, Domino's over us, I guess. Leo, what's your prediction for this game?
He wasn't that good.
So it wasn't.
All right. Well, I think for the amount of shit this team's getting, like my team, it's a lot about activity, but I think even more so this team has activity issues because at least we've got I make at least over half the games, and Luke makes every game, and Soben's gonna make a bunch of games, and then compared to this team, we've got Ham who actually, I'll give credit to, does prioritize college and being moderately social at school over RFL sometimes. And Ray, who I didn't know was devoting his pizza coven lifestyle over RFL. And Tilt literally was like, I'm going to sign to whatever dumbass wants to sign me because I'm going to make, no games. I was literally Tilt said that probably 3 days ago. And then, Ray went, oh, Tilt, you coming to Nada like usual. But, if they get A-Raj, Tilt, Shav, and Ham to show, that's not a bad 4, regardless of Ham having to play defense.
Would you put Ham at DE?
Yeah, Ham's actually shown to be capable of not fucking things up at DE.
Yeah.
But Shav kind of has an ego and likes to play DE sometimes. But granted, he does also have delusions of grandeur where he thinks he's an unpassable on lockdown cornerback. So, but I honestly think that this team could get the 4 slot, and this team could go over 500 and troll the fuck out of people. And if they made the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if they won a fucking game in the playoffs. So,
Alrighty. I think everybody spoke their mind about that. Last but not least, oh my god, guys, we're talking about the Dabenheim Death Eaters, the most random ass name you can ever think of. This is this is basically Intrana 2.0. Consists of Wobble, Reeves, Fushi, KFC. There's one more other person I'm probably forgetting.
Sam
Winshire signed?
No, Sam Soares, yeah, that's right. Winshire has not signed. He's currently fixing some problems in his life. players and all. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did sign to that team later on in the season. If he comes back, I think he'll join probably maybe halfway through and sign to that team. As for this team, I'm assuming KFC is not a quarterback. I can't see anybody else on this team even being capable of that, and that's sort of saying something. I just see this team not being so good on defense. Again, Wobble. This is sort of the NRC team. Well, this is the NRC team. You look at every single player, and they play NRC. I can see Reeves being stuck on DE as per usual for every rookie.
I had no clue he even fucking played DE.
No, he hasn't even played at all. But that's
Oh.
what I'm saying. As a rookie, you usually get set up as DE to at least learn the rules of the game or see how it goes, how schemes work, and whatever. But I see this team being probably the worst team in the league. I can see them winning maybe one game, possibly two. I would say their ceiling is probably two. The thing with this team, though, I see is that being active. This team is really active on Skype. They always talk to each other. The team chemistry is going to be there. They've all been playing with each other for probably a couple seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. So I don't think this team. I think they enjoy playing. I don't think they are sore losers whatsoever. They're not sore winners when they do win. So I'm going to go with 2-10. Be generous with the 2 wins. I can see them being as low as 1-11. I'm going to go with Leo. What do you think of the Death Eaters?
This is the equivalent of the Zulus minus the talent from NRC to RFL. I really think that even though the whole theory behind this is they keep the NRC population interested in the league, that this shit's gonna go down in flames from like butthurt/trolling mid-season, and we're gonna have to go fucking beg my boy Bob McFadden on Facebook to come and fucking pick up the pieces. But the Death Eaters, I guarantee, will win a few games because I expect them to reschedule a solid 0 games, and I think they will take any fucking wins they can get. I mean, with game times in place, you've seen how stingy NRC people can be with reschedules. I fully expect this team to get like at least one reschedule win, one game where they get a default win. I'm calling it now.
I think they'd rather play, to be honest with you. I don't think
Well,
they really care about wins. I think you look at their team.
I've heard people say that Wobble and Fushi give a shit about winning, but none of the other ones do. I actually think Badiak might have told me that recently.
Oh yeah, everybody gives a shit about winning.
If you think that's not even what I'm going at here. What I'm going at here is if you think that this will be in the like slightest degree taken seriously after week 3, like I don't know that there's going to be anyone who's going to want to ref the games besides for the fucking dank memes after like week 4, and I think it's going to be unbearable to play against them because it's just going to be a shit show of delaying and fucking around.
I think completely opposite of that. I think there will be troll plays that game. I think they will play a little bit trolly. But for the most part, I think they're going to play serious. I think this is Wobble's first time owning, and I think he's going to want to prove to people that he can own in the NRC, or not NRC, I'm sorry, RFL, and that he can keep a team in the RFL. I just don't have great expectations because they're just not good players, and I think their highest player is a C, and that's terrible, to be quite honest. So, Dench, what do you think of the Daemonheim Death Eaters?
I think they're going to get exactly 3 wins. Like, teams always fucking win. Like, you know how in Toronto, like, no one thought they'd win fucking games, and they somehow win games. So these guys are going to win, like, a couple. They might get 1 or 2 from, like, not rescheduling, because NRC people, like, just don't fucking reschedule games. Like, I don't know what it is, but they just don't. These guys, I think they will be kind of competitive. I don't think they're going to get blown out every game, but like I think 3 wins is fair because that gives room for like reschedule and forfeit wins as well.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 3 wins. I think he does take RFL quite like kind of seriously, not as much as the rest of the people in the league, obviously, but for NRC people, he does. Sam Source is actually, like, he has potential. Like, he's got in NRC, he's got good reaction time, so he's going to be okay in this league too. And then KFC, like, obviously won most improved player. But I don't know if that's because he played QB, like, a lot of the fucking time and only got 60 touchdowns, so. But we'll see, I guess. I think 3 wins is fair, though.
I'd also like to point out a player that was missing on basically in Toronto that hasn't been signed this season, and that is Jimmy.
I think Wham Boobs is dead again.
Yeah, but he always dies and comes back. So
I mean, you got to understand that primetime college tree observing season is coming up, and I don't know with college coming back if he's going to make any games. If he wasn't making dick already.
Well, he was making a decent amount of games, I believe, for in Toronto. I didn't go in Toronto games, but
I don't think he made a single game after like week 5.
well, I mean that's still 5 weeks of games.
He actually was active for the most part.
Yeah.
No, he actually gave a shit, but I just think his activity waned off and he forgot.
Right, I think he did kind of lean off towards the end of the
Fortunately,
season.
Cookie kept track of the games played stat. Let's see. Jimmy played 6 games,
6 games?
so that's 60%.
Yeah, that's not a bad for out of 10 games. Yeah, dude, that's not bad. I just don't think he's going to have the same season as he did last season. I think if he is signed, he won't show us to as many games. But at the same time, I do just see them re-signing him.
Probably not, because he's not part of the clique. But it would be smart to. I mean, I don't think he had any problem. Jimmy doesn't have trouble getting along with him, though apparently him and Dench, quote-unquote, don't get on.
No, well,
I don't really mind. Like, he just doesn't like me. I don't really care, though, so it's fine. I don't mind.
An ACL.
all right.
Alright.
Oh, okay, you can go ahead, Spo. What do you think of the game behind that?
I just hope they don't make me look like a fucking idiot for trying to get them a guaranteed team before we picked owners.
I think Wobble's going to have something to prove. I think they're all going to be active. This is going to be definitely an active team. I think they're going to show.
I'm not going to predict that they're going to suck, because then when I actually play them, they might like almost beat my team.
Yeah.
That's normally what always happens.
Right.
So I'm just not even going to say anything and hope for the best.
What's your prediction for their season?
I predict they will be active. How did I do?
I'm going to need some numbers with that.
No, I think that's honestly a fair
no.
prediction. That's the point.
Over no.
Okay. Ham, what are your thoughts on this meme team that you wanted to join for some reason?
Oh yeah, Boone and I wanted to join this team because we wanted to, take our meme talents, make the biggest meme team of all time. I don't know. There's just something about in Toronto. They like somehow get wins, like you guys have said. So I don't see them going 0-12. That's not even counting like in the forfeit wins. I'm seeing like probably 2 legitimate wins out of nowhere for some magical reason. Probably 1 or 2 forfeit wins, and like I'm gonna like boldly say it. Probably gonna do better than the Millennial Lions.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't actually think that's really far-fetched. As long as they're active, and as long as if Lieta implodes like I think they will, then I do think maybe the Death Eaters would take advantage of that and get possibly 2 wins over.
I don't think that with Barone, who's just like a guarantee for 2 wins at least a season, that they're gonna like lose. That they're gonna like somehow come behind fucking Wobble's team. I don't know how that's possible.
If the team just doesn't show up.
Yeah. Barone can get wins, but like he needs another person to play the game in the first place.
Right. I do agree. I think for Barone, in order for Barone to be a good player, he has to have at least somebody that's at least decent to be surrounded by him, or else he's made out.
Hey man, Barone ball snapping and then running every play is still good for 2 wins. Like
yeah,
So
but
what I'm
it's
saying,
2 wins.
like
undisputable
Barone needs someone
formula.
to show up. to ball snap? Will people show up for
Well,
Barone for
Barone's
ball-
famous for like finding a guy outside a Remington portal and having him snap the ball and shit.
I guess that's a good point.
So yeah, that is our season 22 predictions. I think this season's going to be definitely better than last season. I think everybody can agree on that.
I wouldn't go there yet. After last season, I'm holding my fucking cards out, man.
That's my thought. I just think it's going to be a better season. So I'm going to let everybody get their last words, and I'm extremely tired right now. Council member Stephen A. Dench, what are your final words to the RFL?
My final words. I'm sorry that Spode fucked up the cap. I'm sorry. Didn't feel that we had to take. Well, that he took away his team, but that isn't entirely our fault. I'm sorry to Luke that he was thrown in the fucking deep end. Let us have a fun, meme-free season.
Smiley
Excluding
face.
fucking Lions. Smiley face. That's it.
Alright. Okay, Leo, any last words for you?
If you all didn't know, I've been very mentally incapacitated this entire show for undisclosed reasons. I hope this season's not as shit as the last one. But I'm not fucking taking anything for granted anymore. I just hope I have fucking fun. So.
I think this season is going to be a lot more. I think this season's going to be a lot funner. I don't think that's even a word.
More fun.
A lot more fun. But, Spode, any last words to the people out there?
Yeah. Fuck council.
Of council. Okay, Ham, and I'll let you last, because
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone in the studio audience on Skype talking about our analysis. And I'd like to say there's apparently a scrimmage, World 98, Barone's house. It's the it's the house portal most close. It's the closest to the Lowstone portal, so you have no excuse going to Barone. Yeah. See you there, mates.
Yep. And
We have 10 fucking people here. Don't come.
how many people?
It's like
A lot.
fucking. Don't fucking come.
Well, I'm coming.
Alright, I wasn't going to show up anyway. I was going to watch Netflix.
All right. Well, until next time, everybody.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Santa.
Well counting.